It's that time of year when there's a chill in the air that just won't go away. The leaves are on the ground and the grass has stopped growing. So that means it's time to think about putting your mower away for the winter. And so we're going to talk about how to properly store your mower. There's a lot of things you can do that will improve the life of your mower in the long run and ensure that in the spring, when the mowing season starts again, it fires up right away. So let's look at what we need to do. The first thing you should do is make sure you get all the gas out of your engine, or at least treat it if you're going to store it with gas in the engine. You can siphon it out, but that's not always the easiest. So the best way is really just to run the gas tank dry. I just finished mowing my lawn and this is about out of gas, so I'm just going to start it up again and let it run until it's dry. There, now that's a good sound. All the gas is gone out of the tank. And you want to get that gas out of the tank because if you leave it in there and you let it sit over the winter months, it can form a gummy deposit in your carburetor, which can do damage to the parts and make it really hard to start in spring. You might have to have your carburetor worked on if you don't do this, so this is a definite must. But if you happen to end your mowing season with a full tank of gas or nearly full, and you don't want to run it dry, you don't want to run it that long, you can add something called sta-bil. It doesn't take very much of this. In fact, I think it's just like an ounce for a whole 5 gallons of gasoline. But you just add a little bit to the gas that's already in your mower, and this will stabilize it over the winter months until mowing season starts again. But it's preferable really to just run your mower dry. And it doesn't hurt your engine just to run it till the gas runs out. It's okay. So there's 2 ways, just run the gas dry or put in sta-bil. First of all, forgive the dirt on my mower. I'm gonna get to that. I just got finished mowing yesterday for the last time, so I'm gonna get to the cleaning up part. Some other things that I'm gonna do to the mower involve tipping it up or getting underneath it. So just as a precaution, I removed the spark plug wire, and even though I've removed all the gas, I don't want there to be any chance of the engine turning over, there being any ignition, and that's just an extra safety precaution. So remove the spark plug wire, just put it over there out of the way, or you might have an actual grounding post you can put it on. The next thing I'm going to do is change the oil. So we're going to tilt this mower over on its side and run the oil out of the oil filler tube. And that's another reason why we run the gas out of the engine first. That way when you tilt it, you don't run the risk of spilling gas everywhere. And be sure and check your owner's manual. You might have an actual oil drain plug underneath your mower, and that would make it a lot easier than the tilt method. But you have to do it this way on a lot of push mowers. So let's get started. I'm going to clean it off around the oil filler tube first, just to be sure dust and dirt don't get in there while I'm doing this. Remove the oil filler tube cap. Tilt it over some more. Let it start draining. And I've got it tipped over pretty far now to get all the oil out. It's still coming. Now that's done, so I'm just going to wipe it off and flip it back over. Now we're going to add oil back into it. You can refer to your owner's manual about what type of oil to use, or refer to the engine maker's website. This is a Briggs and Stratton engine, and on their website they have a chart showing what types of oil you should use for your climate. In my part of the country, I'm supposed to use SAE 30. This is a Briggs and Stratton 4-cycle small engine oil. You can find it about anywhere. And this is an 18-ounce bottle, which should be enough for my mower. But again, refer to your owner's manual. And if you don't have your original owner's manual, you can look it up online. I downloaded mine onto my laptop, and I can also view it on my phone, so they're pretty easy to get even if you don't have your original paper one. So clean off the dipstick, and we're going to keep adding a little bit of oil at a time until it's right at the top line, right where it shows full. And then give it time to run down the spout and settle. And it is recommended that you wait a full minute after you put oil in to check its level on the dipstick. That gives it plenty of time to run down the oil filler tube. Put the dipstick back in. And then take it back out and check. It's just barely showing on the bottom indicator, so we'll keep adding more. But if you check your manual for the right oil capacity, you'll know when you're getting close by the indicator on the bottle showing how much is left. Hopefully this ought to do it. And we're good. It's showing it's right at the top fill line. And be sure you dispose of your used oil properly. So that's two of the major things done, getting rid of all the fuel and changing the oil. But now on to other smaller but also important things to get your mower ready for its long winter nap. Another important step is changing the spark plug. The spark plug needs to be checked and cleaned during the normal mowing season, but at the end of the season, it's a good idea if you just replace it. That way you'll be off to a good start, literally, at the start of the next mowing season. And I think the old one really did need replaced. My local store didn't have the exact replacement. It was an Autolite, and this is a Champion, but there are references online or in the store that show you what a suitable replacement is for your spark plug. And while you have the spark plug out, there's one more thing you should do. Get about half an ounce of that same oil you just put down the filler tube when you change the oil, and put it in this spark plug hole. Then I'm going to put a rag in that hole to keep oil from coming out, and pull the cord a couple of times. That will distribute that oil along the side of the cylinder walls and the piston and give it that little protective coating that it needs through the winter. And you can get that oil in there using a funnel if it has a long enough neck to get back in there, or I'm going to use just a straw and put it in there. But you can use other things too, even a turkey baster if you don't mind getting it oily. And let that run in there. And I'm just going to put that in there a little bit to keep any oil from shooting back out. And I'm going to pull the cord a couple times. And once we've pulled the cord and distributed the oil in there, we can take this rag back out and put in the new spark plug. New spark plug's in, but I'm still going to leave the spark plug wire off because we're not done yet. And when you do start up your mower for the first time in the spring, there will be a little smoke that comes out of the exhaust because of the oil in the cylinder, but that's okay. That'll burn off real quick and it'll be like normal. No problem. Also check your air filter. For this engine, they recommend that I clean it every 25 hours of operation and replace it annually. And I feel like this one should be replaced. Go ahead and clean the inside of that compartment out while you're at it. I've got a brand new air filter, so I'm going to put that on. Just pushes on there real snug. And then put the cover back on, snap the top shut, and I'm all set. So definitely change the air filter if it's been more than a year since you've done it, or more often even if you're mowing in dirty and dusty conditions. Because after all, your mower has to breathe right to run right. And that's the majority of the actual maintenance things you need to do to prepare your mower for winter. But now I'm going to just give it a good cleaning. And I'm going to start with the underneath side of the mower, under the deck, by the blades. And that's another reason why I didn't reattach the spark plug wire. You don't want any chance of the engine turning over, even though that chance is remote. Just remove all electrical connections from your spark plug wire or battery if it has one, and just be safe. So we're going to start there. We're going to tilt the mower up again on the side, like my manual says I can, on the side opposite the air filter. And you want to make sure you clean off all this extra grass that's stuck on there. You don't want to leave anything on there that might retain moisture and over the storage period cause corrosion to your surface under here, to your metal. So use whatever you have to get that cleaned off, a brush or a trowel, and make sure that's clean before you store your mower away. Also clean off your blade real well. When you're done, apply a light coat of oil to that. And after we're done with the underside, we'll work on cleaning the outside of the mower. After you're finished cleaning underneath the mower and the blades, just reattach the spark plug wire. The underside is clean now, so I'm going to start on working on the outside and getting it looking good. So I've got it all cleaned up and I'm getting ready to put it away in a clean, dry place. And I'm going to cover it with plastic. It just takes a little work to get your mower ready for storage, and the benefits are long term. This way you can be sure it'll start right up for you in the spring, and that it'll be a reliable machine for years to come. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you would, and have a great day. Bye.